Good evening. It is Wednesday, January 17th, 2024, and welcome to the Town of Carmel. This is a Town Board voting meeting, and we'll be following that up with a work session. We also have a public hearing, and there are 11 items on the agenda, and there is not a work session, although it says it on the bottom of mine, but there is no work session tonight. I call this meeting to order, and if everyone would please rise, face the flag. Councilman Kearns will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's take a moment of silence to honor our active duty members of the military overseas fighting for our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, if our town clerk, Alice Daly, would do a roll call attendance, please.
Councilman Kearns?
Present.
Councilwoman McDonough? Councilman Lombardi?
Present.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Here. Thank you. So before we start with public comments, I just want to explain a couple of things. So the town board meeting is not the venue where we discuss potential code violations, personnel issues. This is not the place for those types of things, nor is it proper to discuss the nature of any allegations or possible enforcement. If anyone suspects any violations and they want to report them, they are free to contact the supervisor or the building department. They can come in person during the day, or they could do it in writing. The building department does and will investigate any complaints that are not anonymous. They will take appropriate enforcement action if warranted. This policy is in place not just to protect an individual that there's allegations against, but also to protect the town and the residents from the possibility of litigation that these things are discussed on open meeting, and that can be used against us. Furthermore, these meetings are to conduct the people's business. We have to get back to having appropriate order and decorum. We value your input and your opinions. We want the residents to come and speak. We give the residents the opportunity at every meeting, 5 minutes to speak on general topics with the town, property owners, residents, taxpayers. We also have public hearings like we're having tonight. However, the use of profanity, speaking from the audience, causing disruptions, interrupting board members or the consultants, that's not permitted. If someone is in the audience or uses profanity at the podium, they're going to be warned and asked not to continue that. And if they fail to comply with that and come back into order, they're going to be asked to leave. Thank you. So if anyone would like to go to the podium, we have 5 minutes. Please just tell us your name, and you're welcome, sir. Your name, that you live in town, and
My name's Mike Borelli, former councilman, pay over a lot of taxes, and I think that statement you should be ashamed of yourself for making. Besides that, I have a couple of quick questions. I've been coming to town board meetings for over 30, almost 40 years, and historically, almost 100% up until this last election, the new councilman would be sitting next to the attorney in case he had any questions. Is there any reason why it's different now, the seating? I just was curious why Rob is not sitting next to the attorney. It's really weird for watching 20-some odd elections that he's over here by himself with just Frank. So if you're not going to answer that, I'll go to the next one. I know Mr. Kearns ran on a term limit platform, and if I remember correctly, I think you did too, Mr. Supervisor. And for how many years Frank and Sue have in, I mean, if we do a term limit thing, it would start the next election. So why is always put on the back burner? We speak about it, but we never do it. So why isn't there a term limit of 2 terms for a councilman and 4 terms for a supervisor? If you all ran on it, how come everybody's silent about it? And since I can't speak about ATI, I'll take that to the building department tomorrow. You have no executive session on the agenda this evening? No. If I remember correctly, you said last week you had an executive session for a personnel matter? Right? That's what you said, right? Okay. Was that 1 personnel matter? Was it 12 personnel matters? Or 14? Because it was a hell of a long executive session. If I remember the rules, executive session is for litigation, employees, or contract settlement. So what could possibly have taken more than an hour in executive session last week for 1 item of personnel? Everybody's silent again. Have a good night. Should be embarrassed.
Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. I'll see you next week
Okay.
with the answer from the building department.
Long-term resident Frank Ciano. I came here tonight to ask a couple of questions, but some of them were already answered. I talked to the park department. They pretty much came up with my answer. You know, the gentleman, Jimmy, I got to tell you that. But these boots are on for you tonight, pal. So just remember you work for us, the taxpayers. You got a couple of years left. Keep that seat warm. It won't be yours long, okay? I'm going to ask you, what's going on with the sewer and water on Route 6? What are we doing with that? Is it coming, never coming? Estimated time, anything, guys? Can't answer. Oh, Susie's not here to tell you to shut up. I forgot. You're right. Okay, so nobody can answer that
There's
question.
a reason why we can't answer.
It's
And I'll-
because
and I'll
Susie's
tell-
not here to
it
talk
has
to you?
nothing- Has nothing to do with any particular person.
Is there a
We can't-
timeline? You guys can't say that neither?
No.
Oh,
And I'll talk to you about it privately.
okay.
I'll tell you a reason.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then you said, I see a lot of cars parked on Route 6. Is that a building department thing? I see like 8 or 10 cars parked across the street from Mahopac Ford all day long, in front of Bell Heating all day long. And you guys are okay with that? Is that allowed? I don't know. Is that legal, what they're doing there? You can't answer that either, right? Can't answer nothing. I got you. I put these boots on especially for you today, Mike, you know, the BS. All right. So you can't answer nothing. Is that what you're getting at? Or you want to answer it later? Is that, the tape's on, you can't. Is that why?
This is your opportunity to make your comment.
I'm making my comments. I
Thank
mean,
you.
why can't we
Yeah.
get an answer out of anybody? I made
Frank.
comments last
Because
week.
it's not question and answer time.
All
I think
right.
it's your time to, and if Mr. Borelli wants to come back next week and tell us what went on at the building,
So next
that would
week-
be wonderful.
So next week I should come back, ask the same question? Am I going to get an answer? You guys are going to let me know, right, later?
If you suspect that someone's illegally parking on the side of the road, that's a matter you have to take up with the police department.
Police department?
Yes.
That's all I wanted to know. There
Just
you
give
go.
them, just give them a call and
Hey,
they'll
you
look
were a
into
cop
it.
at one time here, so you don't even know the laws about that, do you? Have a great day.
Thank you very much for coming. Anyone else? Nope. So our first item is a public hearing. Public hearing on a proposed local law amending the code of the Town of Carmel, Chapter 111, Peddling and Solicitation, Article 1, Peddling. If there are no objections from the audience, I waive the reading of that document. No. Since no one objects, we'll go on to opening the public hearing. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the public hearing is open. It is about the peddling. If you want to read it, I think it's over there. And if anybody wants to comment about that.
being no,
Yeah, there
Public
being
comment.
no public comments, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
so moved.
Oh, yeah, come up. Come up.
It's an open public hearing on, on the topic.
Yeah, you can come up and you can, in a public hearing, you can ask questions and we will answer them. That's what a public hearing is.
So I can come up and ask a question now?
But you,
About
About the-
this.
yeah,
It's a public hearing for this local law.
so that the public can weigh in and discuss the proposal.
Got nothing exciting, so no.
So I make a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye. So a motion, no, yes. Can I get a motion to accept the town board minutes from December 13th, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Kern, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Our first resolution is authorizing a settlement of certiorari litigation. Councilman Kern, could you read that one for me, please?
Whereas there is currently pending in the Supreme Court, County of Putnam, State of New York, certain lawsuits entitled Gary Prado versus the Town of Carmel and its assessors and the Board of Assessment Review under Index NOS 500872-2018, 501035-2019, 500789-2020, and 501030-2021. 500703-2022 and 501001-2023. Whereas such litigation was commenced in regard to the assessment of certain real property designated as tax map 77-2-2.1 located within the town of Carmel on 2018 through 2023 tax rolls, and whereas a proposed settlement of the litigation has been negotiated by Glenn Dorsey, Town Assessor, and Certiorari Counsel Gregory L. Fulchetti, who have recommended approval of the proposed settlement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the settlement of the aforementioned litigation and any other open litigation concerning the assessment of the aforesaid real property as recommended, and be it further resolved that the Certiorari Counsel Gregory Fulchetti is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the Town of Carmel the stipulation of the settlement and corresponding consent judgment reflecting the terms of the settlement. For this resolution read.
Second.
Can we please have a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes, resolution number one passed. Our second resolution is, again, authorizing a settlement of certiorari litigation. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that one for us?
Whereas there is currently pending in the Supreme Court, County of Putnam, State of New York, a certain lawsuit entitled Kejeta Zaza versus the Town of Carmel and its assessors and Board of Assessor Review under index number 501092 of 2023. And whereas such litigation was commenced in regard to assessment of certain real property designated as tax map 64.5-1-39 located within the Town of Carmel on the 2023 tax roll, and whereas a proposed settlement of the litigation has been negotiated by Certiorari Counsel Gregory L. Forsetti, who has recommended approval of said settlement. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the settlement of the aforementioned litigation and any other open litigation concerns the assessment of the aforementioned real property is recommended. And if further be resolved, that Certiorari Counsel Greg Fulchetti is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the Town of Carmel the stipulation of settlement and corresponding consent judgment reflecting the terms of the settlement. I offer this resolution as read.
A second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes, number two passed. Our third resolution is authorizing renewal of the licensing agreement for ASCAP. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the renewal of the licensing agreement with ASCAP for public performances of copyrighted music for the year 2024 at an annual rate of $500, and be it further resolved that James Gilchrist, Director of Recreation and Parks, is hereby authorized to sign any necessary documents and/or reports concerning said renewal on behalf of the town of Carmel. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Lombardi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 3 passed. Our 4th resolution is authorizing refund of variance fee. Councilman Kearns, could you read that?
Yep. Resolved that upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Director of Codes Enforcement Michael Carnazza, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the refund of the fee paid for a variance application for the premise at 46 West Lake Boulevard, tax map 75.7-3-35, in the amount of $300. I offer this resolution read.
Second.
Seconded by Lombardi. Can we get a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Our 4th one passed. The 5th resolution is authorizing the award of the bid contract C-292 Airport Park Playground Installation. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that?
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel had previously authorized the advertisement for bids for Airport Park Playground installation within the Town of Carmel, and whereas such bids were received and opened on November 30th, 2023, and have been submitted to the Town Board for review and consideration. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby awards the bid contract for the above project to Gia Corp. Contracting, Hawthorne, New York, the lowest responsible bidder meeting specifications at a cost not to exceed $203,258. And be it further resolved that upon receipt of bond and certificates of insurance as form acceptable to Town Council, the reference contractor is authorized to commence contract work and activities. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. So Recreation and Parks says that this should be in as soon as it gets warm in the spring, which is, it's been a while, but this is good. The 6th resolution is accepting proposal for property cleanup, Chapter 114 Town Code. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Director of Code Enforcement Michael Carnazza, hereby accepts the proposal of Putnam Property Maintenance, Carmel, New York, for the cleanup of materials and debris from the premises at 7 Muscoot Road South, tax map 75.73-1-1, and surrounding property at a cost not to exceed $2,200, and in accordance with the proposal dated December 8th, 2023. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by both. Can we have a roll call when you get a second?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Number 6 passed. The 7th resolution is authorizing entry into a memorandum of understanding with the Mahopac Central School District. Councilman Kearns, could you read that?
Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Chief of Police Anthony Hoffman, authorizes the entry into a memorandum of understanding with the Mahopac Central School District for access by the Town of Carmel Police Department to the Mahopac Central School District facilities. Said memorandum of understanding to be in form and content as attached hereto and made a part hereof, and be it further resolved that the Town Supervisor Michael S. Cazzari and/or Chief of Police Anthony Hoffman are hereby authorized enter into and execute on behalf of the town said memorandum, and to transmit such executed agreements to the Mahopac Central School District thereafter for countersignature. I offer this resolution read.
Second.
Second by Lombardi. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So number 7 passed. So this is a tremendous thing that the police department is doing, where they'll have access, God forbid there's ever an emergency at the school, they'll be able to get in with their key fobs and not have to look for a custodian with a key to let them in. That's going to be life-saving if we ever need it.
I'd like to see us do this with Carmel, too.
And he said, he said
Yeah.
he's working on that with Carmel Central
Yep.
Schools too, which is, that's this key fob technology. It's just
It's great.
It's just great. So the 8th resolution is authorizing attendance at a seminar Councilman Lombardi?
Resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes Town of Carmel engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., to attend the 2024 New York Water Environmental Association Conference in New York, New York, from February 5th through February 7, 2024. And be it further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel authorizes payment of reasonable and necessary expenses incurred in connection therewith upon audit. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Second by Kearns. Can we get a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Number 8 passed. Good luck, Rich. The 9th resolution is authorizing acceptance of proposal for professional services for PFOS and PFOA treatment pilot study. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water districts of the Town of Carmel, hereby authorizes the performance of a pilot study for the treatment of PFOS and PFOA compounds at all Town of Carmel Water District facilities to be performed by Clear Creek Systems, LLC, Pacific, Washington, in accordance with the cost, terms, and conditions contained within the memorandum of J. Robert Fulchetti and Associates, LLC, dated January 3rd, 2024, and be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in the form acceptable to town attorney, the reference studies may commence at the district's facilities, and be it further resolved that the cost of the referenced pilot study be allocated equally among the existing Town of Carmel water districts. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Kearns. Can we get a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. So this is ongoing with, we were forced by the state to have a plan on how we're going to deal with the over the allowed limit of the PFASs in the water districts. And now we have to do a pilot study to find the best solution to that. Number 10 is resolution acknowledging performance of emergency repairs, Carmel Water and Sewer Districts. Councilman Kearns, could you read that?
Yes. Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water and sewer districts of the Town of Carmel, hereby acknowledges the emergency performance of water and sewer district collection system, distribution system, and treatment facilities repairs within Carmel Water District Number 2, Carmel Water District Number 3, and Carmel Sewer District Number 2, all as fully detailed in the memorandum of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., to the Town Board dated January 5, 2024, as attached hereto and made a part thereof. I offer this resolution read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. The 11th resolution is accepting, authorizing emergency purchase, Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that?
Resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation and request of Town of Carmel Superintendent of Highways Michael Stern, hereby authorizes the purchase of parts and equipment for Town of Carmel Highway Vehicle Number 48 from Allegiance Trucks, Hudson, New York, in the amount of $9,078.85, and in accordance with the invoice dated December 19, 2023. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation and request of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Stern, hereby authorizes the purchase of parts and equipment for the Town of Carmel Highway Vehicle Number 29 from Camarada Truck Parts, Enfield, Connecticut, in the amount of $17,500, and in accordance with the invoice dated December 20th, 2023. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
And can we please have a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. So, Highway Superintendent, your emergency repairs are authorized. You're welcome. So we have our announcements. First off, it's very good news to report that the Government Finance Officers Association, this just came out in the press today, They are recognizing our town controller, Mary Ann Maxwell, for the town of Carmel, its annual comprehensive financial report for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022, that it was judged a certificate of achievement. It's the highest form of recognition that this organization gives, so she has been awarded a certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting. So Mary Ann, thank you for your hard work. You really do shine, and we do all appreciate what you do every day for us. Other notices, again, please, it's going to snow on Friday into Saturday, and from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the town code, you're not to park your vehicle unless you have alternate side of the street, which those are all posted. You're not supposed to park on the roadway. It hampers the snow removal efforts of our fine highway crews. So please, from November 15th to April 15th, don't park on the road. The tax receiver, Kathleen Kraus, again, this is just letting you know that on Friday, the 29th of December, the tax bills went out. They are due January 31st without penalty. You are responsible. If you didn't come in the mail, you can look online or come in and see the tax receiver or call 845-628-1500, ask for the receiver of taxes. Not receiving your bill is not a defense. You're going to still have to pay it. The last day of Christmas tree pickup for people that are serviced by Oak Ridge is going to be Friday, January 19th. Leave your tree at the curb and don't have it in a plastic bag. Don't have any ornaments on it, no lights, no tinsel and whatnot. I have to say the wind blew mine off of the curb, so mine's still on my lawn from the other day. I won't blame the highway truck. I say it was the wind that blew it into the lawn. Putnam County government is having a Career Expo 2024. It's on February 7th, Wednesday, February 7th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Bureau of Emergency Services, which is on 112 Old Route 6 up in Carmel. For information, you can contact Putnam County Personnel, 808-1650, or on their website, putnamcountyny.com/personnel. And really, I don't know if they can. I don't know if anybody else wants to comment about the about this. We can't talk about things that are in negotiation. Sorry that we can't talk about that. And as far as where someone's sitting, I don't know. I really don't have answers for those questions. I don't know if anybody else does. And we went to the installation dinner for the Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department 110th installation. I thought it was a really good time. My counterpart seems to think that he likes to poke fun.
We have video.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any comments before we make a
Yes,
motion?
I do. Couple announcements. I'm going to keep announcing this, but January 27th, Operation Ice Splash at the Mahopac VFW to raise funds for our local VFW. We're going to have food trucks, an ice luge, DJ, vendors, inflatables for the children, face painting, balloon artists, and there will be a polar plunge taking place at 1:30. It's going to be a great time. If you're in the area and you have nothing to do on January 27th, please swing by. Second thing I want to announce is that starting February 3rd, I'm going to do a monthly town hall session with all the residents of Carmel. It'll take place right in this room from 10 to 12. If anyone has any questions, they could come. They can sit with me. I'll answer all questions to the best of my ability. Like Mr. Supervisor just said, there's certain issues that we can't comment on, but I will do my best to provide updates with ongoing projects and answer all questions that are thrown my way. And then the third thing I want to bring up is AAA Carton. If you guys have issues with AAA Carton, you guys have to contact them. Today I received several phone calls from residents that their garbage is not being picked up. I have no problem contacting them on your behalf, but it would be much easier if you guys just contacted them because, again, I don't know where you guys all live. So, again, if you have any issues with AAA, please contact them.
Actually, with regard to AAA, the best thing to do is actually call the engineering department because we maintain a list of complaints. And if it's, if it's a once in a blue moon type of complaint, that's one thing. But if it's a continual complaint, we have a method in our contract with them to how to handle that, including penalties.
Okay.
But it's best that the engineering department reach out to the contact person at AAA.
Yeah,
and
so I'll
that's
get
usually
with
the
you
best-
after
Yeah,
then.
and then you can just refer them to the
Yeah.
engineering department, and that's usually the quickest way to handle that. Because sometimes, and I'm not saying it's right, but sometimes when a resident calls them, they don't get the same result as if the town would call
Perfect.
them.
Yeah, so I'll get with you after this meeting. That's it.
Great, so I make a motion to adjourn the voting meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alice, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice.
Good night.
So can we get a motion to open up the work session? Yeah, we have one,
Work session.
yeah,
Caught me leaning.
I know. Could we get a motion to open the work session?
Today I got like 15 complaints. My phone was blowing up the whole thing today.
Can I get a second? I'll make a motion to open the work session.
First work session.
Yeah?
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, work session's open. Our first item,
It was on Monday. It was on Monday. There was no snow on Monday.
yeah. I meant there's no executive session, not no work session.
I thought the item got taken off.
Yeah, I should have taken it off. Our first item is with our engineer, Richard J. Franzetti, P.E. Consider request to acknowledge emergency repairs to Carmel Water District Number 7, Pump 1, at a cost of $11,403.90. Sir?
As you mentioned, Carmel Water District 7, the Vineland Pump Station, on December 20th, 2023, B&J, the operators of Carmel Water 7, alerted the engineering department that well pump number 1 was not operating due to the motor being burnt out. There's an invoice in the amount of $11,403.90 to replace this 3-horsepower pump and motor with a subcable and leading steel drop pipe with Schedule 120 PVC and all related parts and fittings. There are sufficient funds in the budget for this, and it's just being asked that this be put into the agenda as a matter of record.
Anybody have questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Nope. That's it. All right, so thank you all for watching. Can I get a motion? I'll make the motion. I make a motion to close the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
And all in favor? Aye. Thank you and good night.
You're doing it all tonight, huh?
Yeah.